Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to today's Postgrad webinar service brought to you by the University of Essex Online. As you can see there, you're going to see about studying law online, a little bit of law, a bit of criminology in there as well. And we're going to be joined today by Sammy, Megan, and Jenny from Essex Online. Now, just before I hand you over, we are a minute or so early. Reminder, today's session is live. Um, if you are watching on demand, you can email webinars@postgradsolutions.com. If you are watching live, feel free to say hi in the chat facility. Please say hello where you're from. If you are watching on Facebook today, we are streaming this live. Please say hi in the message. We'll try and get back. If there's any questions, pop it in the post itself. We'll try and put this into the Zoom platform so that we can get round to your question. But Sammy, I'd like to hand over to you at this point. I'll be back for the Q&A at the end. I think you're going to introduce Jenny, do an introduction to the webinar itself, and I'll be back towards the end. Over to you.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name's Sammy Charlian and I'm Marketing Executive with the University of Essex Online. I'm going to quickly introduce to you our speakers for today and the agenda, and then we'll make a start. So join us today are Dr. Jenny Apoyan-William, who is a head of law and criminology, and also Megan Brownset, who is a senior admissions advisor. So onto the agenda for today, I'll kick things off shortly by introducing to you the University of Essex Online. We will then have Jenny, who's going to take us through the law courses that we offer here at Essex Online, and then followed by Megan, who will talk about the admissions and enrollment process. As Gareth mentioned, we have a Q&A session at the end, so do feel free to drop in any of your burning questions throughout today's session, and we'll review and pick these up. So first of all, why study with us? So you begin a recognised qualification from a university that is ranked 12th in the UK. So we're right up there in terms of the top ranked universities. There's an emphasis on the classroom experience with experienced academics who bring real world perspectives such as working environments. We have programs that focus on employability, equipping students with sector specific skills, and optional modules to allow you to tailor the course to your own specialism. We're also delighted to mention that the University of Essex Online has been rated gold in the Times Higher Education Online Rankings Award for 2024. So this furthermore reflects the university's excellence in delivering higher online education. We're also rated silver in the Teaching Excellence Framework. So we offer an interactive learning platform that is available to students on a 24/7 basis from anywhere in the world. We have a cohort of tutors who ensure they're quick to respond to any of your emails. There are opportunities for one-to-one sessions with tutors, as well as live Q&A sessions and seminars. So just to reiterate, all of our programs are 100% online and part-time to fit around your lifestyle. So there's no in-person attendance required at all. However, you can attend graduation once you've completed your studies at our magnificent University of Essex Colchester campus. So I'll now pass over to Jenny, who's going to take us through the law courses that we offer here at Essex Online. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be here. So it's taking us through our postgraduate courses. So we have at the University of Essex Online International Business Law, the LLM International Business Law, and you can also start as with us as with a PG set or a postgraduate diploma, and then you can move on to the LLM International Business Law. We know that we have students from different parts of the world, students at different stages of their career, and it just depends on what you want to do. But we are happy for you to join us either at the PG set level, PG level, or you just join us directly for the LLM International Business Law, because sometimes we do have students who maybe want to show some form of qualification to their employer, that they have a postgraduate qualification and may not necessarily have the time to at that moment to complete the LLM. So in such cases, we would usually recommend that you start with the PG set. If you want to take a break, that's okay. Start with the PG dip, or if you just want to just go straight ahead and just get the LLM international business law. We're always here to support you. So we have a number of intakes. We have the April intakes, which is the 14th of April. We have the July intake, the 14th of July, and we also have the October intake, which is the 6th of October, 2026. Yes, so in terms of the international LLM international business law, this gives you the opportunity to learn about different commercial transactions. You learn about law on a global scale, and also if you want to get that carve a niche for yourself within the business world, this is the to go program for you. You also have the opportunity to work not just in in-house roles, LLM international business law. You have the opportunity because of the course content, which cuts across different areas of law. You have the opportunity as well when you get this degree, depending on how you project your career, to work in international organizations as well. So it's not just law in terms of the traditional concept, but you have the chance to learn law from an international perspective, just also beyond the UK jurisdiction. Thank you. So these are some of the modules that we have. So we have international business law. You have the law of World Trade Organization, where you get to learn more about the World Trade Organization as a body. You have international competition law. We also have our legal research skills and methods. This gives you the opportunity to learn about legal research, because we know that in practice, whether you're focusing on practice or whether you're working in an in-house counsel or you want to work in an organization, you need to have advanced legal research skills. And this module provides you with all the tools that you need. And once you have gotten all the necessary information from this module, you can then move on to the international business law dissertation. This gives you a chance to explore any topic within the international business, and that helps you to build up your portfolio, which you can also present to employers as well. We also have the commercial conflicts of laws module, whereby you learn to see how the different laws interact and conflicts within different jurisdictions from a commercial perspective. We also have the intellectual property law. If you want to specialize within this area, it's a very niche area, whether you're looking to move into trademarks or patents, this is a module for you as well. We also have international commercial arbitration dispute resolution module. So we all know that sometimes litigation is not always the answer, and this is where alternative means of this resolution comes in. So this is very, very popular in terms of what's going on now. We even have contracts that would have embedded within the clause that the parties to a contract would need to have recourse to arbitration or one of the other forms of ADR. So you can see through all the modules, we have the perfect set of courses that gives you that opportunity to learn about international business law from different areas of law, helping you to position yourself in terms of your career. And I'll then hand over to Megan to talk about admissions.
Thanks, Jenny. Hi, everyone. So I'll just run through the admissions process. When you inquire about a course, you'll be assigned a personal admissions advisor. They will be your first point of contact throughout you needing any information or when you get to the application process. When you come to apply, you can apply directly through our website, or your admissions advisor can provide you with the link if you need. There's no fee to apply, but you'll have to submit certain documents, such as your ID, CV, any qualifications that you've got, and a personal statement. Once we have everything that we need, your application will be reviewed by our admissions staff and the academic heads. Once we have an outcome regarding your eligibility, we'll aim to get in touch with you within 48 hours via either an email or a telephone call. Once you receive an offer letter, it will have all the details that you need to accept your offer, to make the payment. And again, if you have questions, you can just go directly to the admissions advisor who can help you to secure your place or answer any questions that you've got. In terms of entry requirements, so there's two routes for the postgraduate courses. There's the academic route. So for this, you need to have an undergraduate degree from an approved institution that is equivalent to a UK honours degree, or a relevant professional qualification. So this is assessed on a case-by-case basis. If not, you can enter via the work experience route. So you need to have at least 3 years of relevant work experience. If English is not your first language, you might be required to provide evidence of your English language proficiency. So we can accept an IELTS qualification or equivalent. If you don't have this, we can set you up with a free online English test as part of the application process. In terms of tuition fees, so for the postgraduate certificates, which are 8 months, the UK fees for the 2026 academic year are £4,286. International fees are £4,476. The PG diplomas, which are 16 months, the UK fee is £8,572, and the international fees are £8,952. Now, for the full master's degree, the LLM, which is 2 years, the UK fee is £12,858, and the international fee is £13,427. All the tuition fees that are shown, they're net of any applicable sales tax payable by you in your country of residence. So again, just reach out to us if you have any questions about that. In terms of the payment methods, so for students that reside in England, you can apply for a tuition fee loan to cover the costs. If you are self-funding, there's a monthly payment plan available, so you can spread the cost of the tuition fees. If you decide to pay up front, you'll get a 5% discount. We also offer a 10% alumni discount for certain students. We have some scholarships that are available for students residing in certain regions outside of the UK. We have enhanced regional scholarship of up to 20%. So this is for the April intake onwards. And this again is for specific regions outside of the UK. And you can discuss any scholarships and eligibility for these with the admissions advisor. If you are unhappy with your course or you don't think it's the right fit for you, you can opt to withdraw within the first 21 days of starting your course, and you will get a full refund of whatever you have paid. So next steps, if you do want to apply, you can go on our website. You can request the link to the application form from an advisor if you made an inquiry, or you can just apply via the link shown on the slide. When you apply, you'll have to provide your ID, such as your passport. It needs to have your date of birth as well, and you'll have to provide a personal statement. So this must be at least 300 words, and it just outlines your reasons for studying, any professional or academic experience you've got, any relevant skills, and why you want to study the course. You'll have to provide us with copies of your educational certificates. Now, these do need to be official copies, so they need to be signed or stamped by your institution, and we will need a copy of your CV as well. Now, this is a minimum, so if we do need further documents from you, we'll just request that once we've got your application.
Jenny, can I just hear a bit more from you in terms of the program itself? Because there'll be many students that will go, what's the biggest difference between studying law online to law on a campus somewhere in the UK? What is the biggest difference, and what advantages and disadvantages are there because of it?
Okay, thank you, Garrett, for that. First of all, studying online, like I always tell, my students and, colleagues and all of that, it gives you access to education. So regardless of wherever you are in the world, you have the opportunity to, log on, and have access to education. And that's why I see myself as a widening participation advocate and champion, because this is one tool, that the internet gives us, helps you to, you are not restricted by location. You have access to resources that people in different parts of the world have. And that's where we come in terms of, because we have, branded ourselves and we've distinguished ourselves, University of Essex Online, as experts in delivering online education. And we have students from different parts of the world. We have students from in different parts of countries in Africa. We have students from the Middle East. We have students from North America. We have students, from America and even in Europe as well. So you have the opportunity to, to collaborate, meet people from different parts of the world, and then our tutors are well, recognized in the different areas. And we have tutors in different areas of law, those who specialize in intellectual property, in arbitration, contract, and they bring in not just that academic and research informed teaching, but these are also tutors who have, experience either as a solicitor or as a barrister or as a chartered legal executive. So the only difference is that you're studying from the comfort of your home. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
You have everything. I always say that the world is at your feet. And that's what we have, because you don't have to worry about visas here and all of that.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you want to, if you want to come for your graduation, we always encourage our students to come for their graduation, but you don't have to worry about any restrictions in terms of immigration. You have everything at your fingertips, fingertips rather. You also have the opportunity to have, discussions with your tutor as well. And our tutors are very flexible in terms of, because you know that we have students in different time zones. So our live sessions, are also recorded as well. So if, for example, you're working or you have care and responsibilities and you're not able to attend that session, you have the opportunity to go back later and, tune in, and you can always catch up later with your tutor as well. We also work with study skills team. We also work with our student support. So it's not just the academic team, us in the academic team, the tutors, and myself and other colleagues. You have access to other departments. So all of us coming together, that's why we are able to give students the best student
Yeah.
experience that they have. So for me, from my perspective, there is no difference with studying in a traditional campus. The
Yeah.
only, being online, that's the in thing now.
Yeah.
That's what, because we are all very busy. I'm sure
Yeah.
Garrett is busy, Megan is busy. So everyone is busy doing so many things, and this
And
gives
and
you
a
the
lot of the learning
opportunity.
now, sorry to interrupt you there,
Yeah.
Jenny, but a lot of the learning now,
hmm
even on campus, a lot of the time is done
hmm
online anyway. So
Yeah.
this just
Yeah.
provides you with
So
so much flexibility. Jenny,
it does.
one of the things that stood out to me, you mentioned students from Africa, from Asia,
hmm
from all over, which is great. How do
hmm
you keep the education relevant and
hmm
current, depending on where that student is from, because there will be many students that will be from, let's say, from the Middle East, where law and
hmm
criminology looks very different to what it does in the
hmm
UK. So,
hmm
how do the ever-changing policies and all these things in different cultures and different countries affect the education? How does that adapt and change the education?
Okay, so there's something that we are very inclusive, and that's why we ensure that even as part of the assessments and also our seminars as well, our live sessions, the live lectures, students have a chance to explore what happens in different jurisdictions, because law is evolving. That's why we're doing that. Have an LLM in international law. You have people from qualified in different jurisdictions working in a particular
Yeah,
law firm. So that's what it is. So whether whichever country you come from, getting this degree would give you the opportunity to not just explore law from international business perspective, from the UK perspective, but you have a chance, to also engage in what we call, comparative analysis. You're able to find out, okay, what's happening in, one part of the world, and why have they achieved this, and in this part of the world, and why haven't we? You have that chance to work with your peers as well. So even the assessments that we've created, working with our experts in law, give our students that opportunity as well to not just look at things from a research point of view, but also to look at things from a practice point of view. To say this is what's happening in my country, or this is what is happening in terms of arbitration law, for example. So for example, if you're going to specialize in commercial arbitration law, you could be having to travel, or even have a meeting, a Zoom meeting with a client from the other side of the world. So that's what international business is
yeah,
all about. You don't be the pandemic has taught us that you don't have to be in a physical space to get things done. Contracts and things
yeah.
everything can be done online,
You make a great
behind.
point there, a brilliant point, because there'll be many students that are watching that will. I've got to be careful what I say because I've been in the same situation. There'll be a lot of people that
Okay.
are watching that will go, I watch certain TV programs, I've seen
hmm
certain things in the media, and
hmm
it's all in a courtroom, it's all done face
hmm
to face, and that's not the case.
No,
In this
no, no.
international post-pandemic world we're now living in,
It
everything
is.
is
It is.
signed off
Even
virtually and
yeah.
done virtually, isn't it?
Yeah, even law
Well,
roles as well. You have
yeah,
people. I mean, prior to the pandemic, I wouldn't have known that a lawyer can work remotely. I have colleagues who work in remotely. that don't even go to a physical space, and these are people who are qualified in different jurisdictions. So that's what the pandemic has brought for us, that we can see that you don't have to be in that physical space, and that's what international business, LLM international business gives you the opportunity, that you can learn about different areas of law from international business perspective, and also within your dissertation you can decide to choose a particular area, and carve a niche for yourself in that specific area, which you can then showcase, to
Yeah.
employers. And you can even decide to publish, your thesis and be known within that specific area, whether it's world trade, whether it's international competition law, or whether it's intellectual property law, or whichever area that you want to. So that's what we do. And then we also have a virtual learning platform as well too. You can log on. It's 24 hours. You don't have to wait for a physical space before you have access to the library, the books and everything and the resources. You have access to that. Different legal databases, LexisNexis, Westlaw. If you're like me, that as a student, I'm kind of like a night owl. You just log on to LexisNexis, Westlaw, download your cases, and you have access to your ebooks. It's available. So really, what's the difference between us and a traditional university? I can't really say there's any
Yeah, I
difference.
think
No.
online, and we've mentioned the pandemic a couple of times,
Yeah.
Jenny, has opened up the world so much, and it's had its negatives at times, but I
Mhm.
think this is a major positive.
Yep.
Um, it might be Megan that needs to answer this, but I'm sure you'll be able to answer also, Jenny. Talk to me about the type of personnel that is
Okay.
on this program or any of the programs, because one of the biggest areas of increase that we've seen in terms of the type of student is
Mhm.
the more family orientated
Mhm.
person, someone that has perhaps got a young family, furthering their
Mhm.
career, haven't been able to do it maybe in the stereotypical age of 23 to 30, and they're coming back and they're perhaps enhancing those studies. Do you guys
Mhm.
see kind of something similar? And Jenny, I don't know if you want to answer that first, Jenny, in terms of the
Yeah.
type of person that's there, and then Megan,
Yeah.
perhaps you can come on and kind of talk about what you're seeing from an admissions point of view.
Yeah, so I'll start off and then I'll pass on to
Yeah.
Megan. So we see students from different backgrounds. We have students who are in their 50s. We have students who are young, 19, 20. We have students in their 30s, 40s. And we have students, who have young families. We have students who have children, who have caring responsibilities. So it's for everybody, regardless of your age. The only thing we just want you to do is, basically sign up, let us know how we can help you. Let us know how we can work with you. So I think that's what I'll say for now, and just
Yeah.
hand over to Megan.
Yeah, Megan, from an emissions point of view, like I said, it's such a huge increase, and it's great to see that it's not closed-minded anymore. You got to do your undergrad degree and then you go straight in and
Mm.
do your master's. And also, as well, I think your programs, from what I've seen, are very cost efficient as well, which will definitely help. Are you seeing that from your side? Is it a variety of students rather than just students that are now 24, 25?
Absolutely, yeah. I would completely echo what Jenny said. Um, there's just people from completely different backgrounds and different countries, different lifestyles. We do still get, the younger students who would rather that, finish college or finish whatever they're doing and then come straight onto a degree. But we're also getting a lot of people with families and young kids who work full time as well, and they want something that's flexible to that can just work around all the other responsibilities that they've got.
Mm.
We have people that might start a career and then life happens and they've got a lot of things that pop up, and maybe 10, 20 years later they sort of want to continue that and restart the career again, so they join with us. Yeah, I think the flexibility of the courses that we offer, it's ideal for just so many different people, from completely different walks of life. I think that's the good thing about the courses that we offer.
Yeah, I think the flexibility is key. I've heard from online providers that although it's online and they call it flexible, there's still a structure in place, which
Yeah.
means they have to be on at certain times, although they're live sessions. You can't watch it in your own time. But I
Mm.
think what really strikes me with these programs and with the institution as a whole is that if you are a night hawk and you want to work through the night and you want to watch these recorded sessions that were live initially, you can do that and you have that flexibility.
Yeah.
Can I just talk about keeping with you, Megan, for a moment?
Hmm.
The program, I think you mentioned they've got 21 days if they don't like the program to begin with, to change their mind. What happens? There might be many students that are interested in law and criminology, and they'll
Hmm.
go, I don't really know what I want to do. Is
Mm.
it really as simple as 21 days in, they can go, or 20 days in, they can go. That wasn't for me. I want to do
Hmm.
international LLM instead. Is that possible? Is it really that easy?
Essentially, yeah. I mean, they could start a course and decide that they want to do something completely different. If they want to withdraw and take some time to think about that, they can do, and that's when sort of they would get refunded for whatever they paid to secure their place. Or if they know what they want to change to and
Mm.
they've made that decision and they think, right, okay, I don't want to do this, but I'd actually prefer to do this course, they can just transfer. I mean, the admissions staff are really, really supportive with doing that. And it can be done. It definitely can be done.
Okay, and talk to me about the post-graduation offering. Obviously, there's
Mm,
many unis that have like a incredible career service, but you'll have many alumni, no doubt, and many students that you can kind of call upon to say, this is where we are now. I think, Jenny, you alluded to it earlier when I asked you about the different learning and how you can adapt to what's going on around the world. Is it as simple as students can lean on that once they've graduated? Can they talk to people in similar situations, other alumni? What happens once they've graduated?
Jenny, do you know much about this? I'm not too well informed regarding this part.
Yes, that's an academic question. So we have an alumni community. So usually when students attend the graduation, whether they attend it physically at Essex or they join, one of the online graduation ceremonies that we have, they are basically inducted into the Alumni Society, the Essex Alumni Society, and this gives them a chance to, to network and meet with, alumni from, who have graduated, recently or those who had graduated in time past. So that's just so they have that opportunity to network with them as well, not just physically on the graduation day, but even beyond graduation.
It's nice that they get that kind of online graduation, though, isn't it? Because I think many students will kind of, really look forward to that on campus. And the fact you're still offering, even though it's not typical champagne moment, let's say, because you can still have champagne on Zoom, of course, if you want to.
Yeah.
But even though it's not your stereotypical kind of graduation, there is still that connection that you can have, which is
Yeah,
great.
yeah, there is. Yeah, because obviously, our students are very busy. They may
Yeah.
not just have the time to come, might be family commitments or something. So we make sure that those students who are not also able to attend physically can also attend one of our online ceremonies as well. Yeah, so
Yeah, of course.
that's
And
also
and, and
important.
Megan, from a payment structure perspective, we saw the pricing I said earlier. It's relatively inexpensive actually compared to some of the programs you do see, which is great.
Yeah.
Is there a kind of payment structure that a student can adhere to? Is it a case of, it's 5,000 for the diploma or certificate, one of them I can't remember now, but are they able to, put down a deposit, pay the rest over installments, or what are the rules around that?
Yeah, essentially. So they have a couple of options regarding the payment plan. If they want to pay up front, they would get an extra 5% upfront discount. If they do want to spread that cost, they can pay it monthly. If they pay monthly, you'd be required to pay the first monthly installment as a deposit to secure the place on the course. And then the next payment would sort of be required to be paid the month after their start date, and then they would pay monthly from that date. Which many students do because again it just helps with that having that
Yeah.
flexibility to be able to spread the cost. But yeah, it's definitely and they can set up automatic recurring installments on the payment system as well. So that's something that they could look to do if they want to.
Excellent. And just from a like a admissions question again, intake dates because of the flexibility with it, I'm guessing there are multiple throughout the year.
Yeah.
How long does that process take from going, yep, that's for me, I'm going to lay down a deposit, I'm going to apply for it, to actually being enrolled on the program?
I would say it's quite quick. So once we get an application and we've got all the documents from a student, that's when we review the eligibility for the course. And that t tends to take around 24 to 48 hours. They would get an offer letter, and we would say to get the deposit and the acceptance and everything in place as soon as possible. Um, and then they'd just start the course on the required start date. And even if they wanted to then defer, if they changed their mind about the start date, they could hold that payment. We could hold the payment that they've made, and they can start on a later date. So again, more flexibility there. They don't have to stick to that start date if life happens, if something
Yeah,
comes
of
up.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
And talk to me about the English language requirements. So
Mhm.
many students talk about, I'm from Nigeria, which is primarily an English speaking country, let's say.
Yeah.
But obviously they're classed as an international student, so therefore, do they still have to take the IELTS or TOEFL test, whatever it is they've got to meet to map they've got to take to meet those requirements, or can they provide proof of language through their employment? Is that something they can do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, the English requirements are there because the courses are, of course, taught in English. If a student doesn't have an IELTS qualification or anything like that, but let's say they've studied a degree, which was taught in English, if they want to provide a letter, that confirms that, or a letter of employment that confirms that the medium of the language used in their job is English, we can accept that in place of IELTS. And if all else fails, we can offer them the free online test as part of the application as well.
Yeah, great. One other point from me, Jenny, this might be for you. Sorry, I know you've just popped off screen, but I'm going to invite you back on. The impact of artificial intelligence is now huge. Online, we all kind of do it now, and then we think, oh, nobody's going to notice. We're just going to stick it through Chat GPT or Gemini. It doesn't matter. Talk to me through the impact of that and what effect that does have on a student's learning, because it's important that it comes from them and not from a robot, isn't it?
Yes, so during the induction module, we make sure students understand the importance of academic integrity, and we also make sure they understand what AI, the impact of how AI can be used negatively. Because I think the most important thing is if a student is using AI, maybe perhaps to start their original research, are they using it in an ethical form? So these are some of the questions and things that will engage our students with during the induction process. So when they join us and when they start the different modules, we even have what we call the Socratic bot, which is it's not a chat GPT thing. It's kind of something, it's a bot that engages students and whereby they're able to ask different questions. So it throws you a question. If you ask a question about a topic, let's say criminal law, it could throw something unique about the
Great. Okay.
menswear, the intention, or the actus reus. It brings that in. So it's not just a tool whereby you just put in a question about about the subject or the area of law you want more information about, and then you just automatically get an answer. It encourages you to think and engage, and I believe that's what the AI tools should be used for. So we try to ensure that students understand the fact that, because when you get to a courtroom, we've seen the lawyers from cases all over the internet, the hallucinations that AI comes up with, and then the citing cases that do not even exist. You don't want to be in that position. So we
Yeah.
already have the legal databases, LexisNexis, Westlaw. These have stood the test of time. All the case laws and everything, is there. So we try to encourage our students to make sure that even if they want to start, have some conversation with some AI tool and all of that, that should not be the basis of their research. They need to be engaging with the legal resources, the different case laws and stuff like that, because the AI, for example, maybe ChatGPT would only have maybe a summary in terms a summary of the judgment from
Yes.
different parts of the internet. If you don't have access, because as a law student, whether postgraduate or undergraduate, you have access to, as part of your, you've paid for it, to LexisNexis, Westlaw. These are known legal databases that law firms use as well. You have access to the full judgments. You can see a dissenting judgment. You don't see those things on, even if you see it,
Yeah.
in ChatGPT, it's a summary. All of the, legal analysis, you don't get that. Yeah, so it is
Yeah.
prone to hallucinations, but I can only
Uh,
speak for now because I don't know what's
yeah.
going to happen
Of
with AI
course.
in the
Yeah.
next 5 or 10 years. But yeah,
We will all be talking AI, never mind English in 20 years, no doubt. Jenny, just keeping on that topic of the kind of the next steps for students. The law is such a broad topic, and I always think that people just think law is kind of like in a courtroom, that's all you ever hear. But realistically, there are so many different kind of broader subject areas that they can go into afterwards. You think
Mhm.
sport, you think criminology, you think agriculture, all these kind of things. Typically, what would you expect a student studying your program to go into afterwards? Or is it shoehorned? Is it as broad as it can be?
Yeah, but basically it's as broad as it can be. Because, for example, if you depending, I know this is a postgraduate webinar, but if you're
Yeah.
doing the undergraduate program, for example, you have the chance to study all the different areas of law. And if you're coming, obviously, to do the postgraduate program, you would have done an undergraduate program in law. And even if you haven't done, as part of your LLM International Business Law, you can then decide to specialize. So not everybody is for litigation, though we have tried part of our assessment to make sure that all the different skills in terms of advocacy, litigation, and also, legal drafting, students build these competencies so that by the time they are graduating, whether they want to specialize, in litigation, or whether they want to, for example, work with the World Trade Organization or even work in the UN, they have all of these, things. So I always encourage students, try to come with an open mind. You might have been, watching all these, criminal law movies or
Yeah.
criminology movies and things like that. It's good to see all of these things on TV and be excited, but come with an open mind because you might just find out that about an area of law that you've never ever heard about. And that could then be, you then focusing your dissertation because at the undergraduate level, they also have the chance to, write a piece of independent research. So, and you are not shoehorned, like it doesn't have to be at undergraduate level, doesn't have to be international business, as long as it is law.
Yeah.
You can focus on that. But in the post, because it's international business law, but as long as you can at master's level see that bringing that connection from an international business perspective, you can even decide to write on something on AI with business and and economics or so. As long as you have that business, so you can explore an interdisciplinary perspective as part of your, your master's. So it's a broad spectrum. You can move into any area, but it's important, like I said, to keep an open mind so that you are not you try to avoid the disadvantage of being of specialization is good, but it's also good to learn all of the different things. Because, for example, if you work in an organization and even though you're not a specialist in that area and they need your opinion because oh you have an LLM international business law and you say oh I'm not an expert in this, but at least you are able to provide some opinion, you are able to research and find out the answer even though you're not a
Yeah.
subject matter expert. So that's what we do, that's what it brings. And you have tutors from different areas as well. You have tutors who have practiced, who are now fully into academia. You have tutors who are also currently practicing as well, who are also going to court. So you have the opportunity to learn from them, to leverage on their experience and hear about different areas of law. And we also have planned upcoming guest lectures as well. So that will give you the opportunity to learn about a new area of law, which might not even necessarily be in within the curriculum, but a guest speaker who has maybe an expert in one area, for example, maybe surrogacy law or something, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. I've not really, how can I work in that? I have a background in
Yeah.
international business law because the skills you gain from international business law, you gain advanced research skills that students who are undergraduates don't have that. So that those skills that you have in terms of writing, in terms of presentation and all of that, you can transfer those skills to other roles. Or you could even decide that I want to work in criminology. I want to specialize in criminology. We have a program, MSc in criminology and MSc in criminal psychology. You can decide that you want to go there, and that gives you that kind of like more more qualification that you would have with the law background and also with the criminology background as well too. And you can carve out a niche for yourself within that area as well. So the world is at your feet. We just need you to just have that interest. And I'm not sure if it's something that we mentioned earlier. We also have the student support team as well too. So right from the very beginning, you get in touch with them. They would be able to advise you on a study plan because, like Megan said, we have students from different areas of life. We have students who are so busy because I see my students as heroes because I sometimes I wonder how do they do it? You have four children, five children, you have a business. How do they do it? And part of it is having these conversations at the very beginning with student support that this is my current situation because we know that most of our students are very busy people and that this is how you can do this is the number of study hours you need to commit a week and this is what you need to do, this is how you need to engage with you, this is how you plan your time, and they start that from the very beginning. And if we have students maybe who are struggling to keep up and all of that, we have that conversation. So we start these conversations early. We don't wait until when there's a problem or so. So we started very early so that we can advise students and give them suggestions on how they can, manage their time to just because at the end of the day, what do we want? We want our students to be the best that they can be and to
Yeah.
achieve, their dreams.
And I think you've made a good point. I mean, first and foremost, I love how passionate you are about it. I love it.
Oh, okay.
But it's a good point in the sense that you've got to be interested in it from an undergrad level. You know, you've got to be interested in what you want to do. And postgrad provides you with that platform to choose a specialism, of course. But you've got to, it's never too late to change. It's never too late
Yeah.
to keep an open mind and to go with what is. I'm sure, Jenny, you were in the exact same place a few years ago.
Yeah.
And you're still loving it just as much now because you made the right choices. So
Yes, yes,
um, I
yes.
echo Jenny's thoughts. They've got a great student support network at the university online, and so please get in touch with them if there's any questions whatsoever. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Megan, in the background also for your time. Really appreciate it. I think we're going to wrap things up there. Anyone who has any more questions or they want to apply, want to know more information about intake dates, online.essex.ac.uk/contact us. There are the channels there as well for Facebook, Instagram. We've got X now, YouTube, and LinkedIn also. So please head over to those platforms to find out more info. Jenny, Megan, thank you for your time. Huge thank you. And we look forward to seeing you again, hopefully later on in the year. And if any students have any questions, please reach out to either Jenny or Megan. I'm sure they will. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.